How's it going, guys? Mike Kellum here with another video, and today's video I want to talk about how to buy an RV on a very low budget. We live in a day and age where coronavirus has spiked the price of campers to astronomical levels, but there are definitely still ways that you can get a camper on a very tight budget. Before we get started, I just want to say nobody's sponsored this video, nobody's paying me to make this video. I'm just doing this in my own free time. You can actually help me out tremendously by liking this video and considering subscribing to my channel. It's completely free to you, but it really helps me out. And on top of that, you'll get a lot of really cool content about living in an RV, as well as the Stanley Hotel. So let's just get right into it. When I worked at Camping World, I had a lot of people coming in who had bad credit and either a very small down payment or they were looking for something that was just an unrealistic price. And first of all, the fact that they were at Camping World was a mistake, because going to a dealership, you're going to pay top dollar for your camper. Now, yes, you do get the convenience of them looking over it, making sure everything works correctly, and aftermarket warranties, and all that cool stuff, but it does cost a lot more money, and when you're on a tight budget, you're not looking for convenience, you're looking for savings. Plus, if you go to a dealership and you find an RV for reasonably priced, it's most likely severely damaged, and I would not consider buying it. You can definitely find an RV for under $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, whatever price range you're looking for. But one thing you have to keep in mind in those price ranges is the RV that you purchase is probably gonna have a lot of problems. So what I would highly recommend is taking whatever budget you have, if it's that low, and cut it in half, and then that's your true budget for buying an RV, and then use the other half to spend on repairs. Like with my camper, it was in pretty good condition, but it had a few things that needed to be repaired. I spent about $8,500 on the camper itself, and then about $7,500 on the repairs that it needed between the engine, the transmission, and all the parts inside the coach. So whatever your budget is, just cut it in half and expect to have to pay the other half in repairs whenever you purchase an RV. Now, how do you find RVs that have a really good price tag? Well, I would look on Facebook Marketplace or Letgo, or I think it's called OfferUp now. They changed their name recently. Both of those marketplaces have what's called a save your search feature. So whenever you look for a camper, say you're looking for a Class A under $10,000, look that up, Class A, and then set the filter for $10,000 on the price tag. And then right next to the search bar is gonna be a little bell icon. And once you click that, it'll actually save your search and notify you whenever anything else within those parameters shows up on the market. I find that the search saving feature is actually really helpful. That's actually how I found my RV at such a great price. Because whenever you come across an RV that's really cheap or really good deal, you're definitely gonna have pretty much everybody jumping on it right away. So you want to be notified as soon as it gets listed, and that way you have at least somewhat of a chance to get it. Now, that's pretty much exactly what happened when I bought my RV. It notified me that I had an RV listed. Literally an hour after it was listed, I was already there looking at the RV, and there were 6 other offers on it. So that shows you just how quickly those things are moving. All right, now we're going to talk about negotiating the deal. Now you found the perfect camper that you're looking for, and it's just outside of your price range, and you're going to try and get the seller to bring it down to your price range. What you want to do, first of all, don't offer a price before you come take a look at the camper. Always look at the camper before you shoot an offer to the seller. And when you're looking at the camper and just inspecting it, I would look for anything that could be wrong, little trim pieces falling off, carpet being ripped up, discoloration, delamination, anything like that. All of that will seriously knock the value of a camper. So for example, with my camper, he had it listed at $12,000, but the water heater was broken, the fridge was broken. There were a couple other little nitpicky things that needed to be fixed. The tires were in bad shape, and I was able to actually get it down to $8,500 from $12,000. Now, another really important tip is don't be the first one to shoot out an offer. Make sure that the seller is the first one to give you an offer. Basically, you just ask them, what's the lowest you can go? And if they're hesitant about it, just say, well, you know, the number that I have in mind, it's not really anywhere close to what you're asking for, so I just want to see what the lowest you'll go is, just to see if there's any chance of negotiating this deal. And a lot of times that will get them to spit out a number, and then you can kind of work from there. But once in a while, like in my case when I was purchasing a camper, the seller just would not give me a number. And if you end up in a situation like that where the seller is just not spitting out the number first, then just lowball the crap out of them. Make sure that they know that your offer is not anywhere close to what they're asking for. And like, for example, in my situation, I asked for $6,000, which was actually half of what he was asking for, but it ended up actually giving me a lot of really good leverage. And the way I would phrase that is, I will buy this camper from you right now for $6,000. And a lot of times that kind of gets them thinking, well, it's a really low offer, but I don't want to have to deal with anybody coming out to look at it again. And in this case, he offered me about $9,000, but I said, sorry, $6,000 is where I'm at. And I just stayed firm on my $6,000 offer. I would not move up at all until finally they're just like, yeah, I can't go any lower. And then once you've kind of gotten to that stalemate where you're at $6,000 or I'm at $6,000 and they're at $9,000, and you kind of go back and forth like you don't have any more wiggle room at all, they'll probably say, no, unfortunately I don't. And then you'll say, all right, well, thank you for your time today, but unfortunately, it's just not the deal that I'm looking for. And in my case, I started to walk away. But he said, well, wait, would you take it for $8,500? And to be honest, $8,500 was a lot less than I was expecting to get it for. So, of course, I tried to still squeeze out just a couple more pennies. I told him I would do it for $7,500. And we kind of got stuck in a stalemate there. And I was like, finally, all right, I'll take $8,500 for it, which is a pretty substantial drop. I saved $3,500 just by spending about, I don't know, 20 minutes negotiating the deal with him. So even if you find a camper that's just a little bit outside of your price range, it's still worth taking a look at it and trying to negotiate the deal down lower. I mean, the worst that happens is you say, sorry, that's not the right deal for me, and you'll walk away. Literally, there's nothing to worry about with that because you will never see that seller again. So you don't have to worry about being like embarrassed or ashamed or anything like that. Well, that's all I had for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel. Safe travels, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.